My name is Natalia. I'm a project manager at Excalibur and I will be the moderator for today's workshop. The topic for today is identity management integration. Marek, our senior solution architect, will talk about today's agenda in more detail. Eduard, who heads our business development and partnerships, will focus on the Streamed Access Management, or SAM, platform that we designed and developed. After that, Mark will focus on how Excalibur SAM integrates seamlessly with leading identity platforms, including Microsoft Active Directory and Microsoft Azure Entra ID, as well as its local identity store capabilities. Our goal is to demonstrate how Excalibur SAM can help you streamline security, enhance user experience, and simplify integration of Excalibur SAM into identity management system in your organization. We invite you to participate actively in the workshop by asking questions and contribution to the discussion at any time. Of course, there will be also dedicated Q&A session at the end, but if you would prefer to postpone your question, please post it in the chat under the Q&A and we will get back to it in an answer. If you would like to ask questions during the session, which we appreciate, simply raise your hand and we will give you an opportunity to ask or discuss directly. So, Marek, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Natalia. So, everybody, welcome again. I'm proud to continue with the workshop series since I was a little bit sick and I was unable to be with you. So we postponed previous two sessions to some other date, but don't worry, everything's already prepared. So we will inform you in advance about the new dates. Okay, so as Natalia said, session for today is about the Excalibur possibility to integrate with external identity management solutions such as Microsoft Active Directory, Microsoft Azure Entra ID, and also the Excalibur SAM local identity store as the simplest solution for small customers, organizations, and companies. At the first, I will like to talk about the Excalibur as a company and about our leading edge technological product called Excalibur SAM. So, Edo, the stage is yours. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much, Marek. Basically, from my end, just a quick recapitulation for anybody who is new to our workshops. We are Excalibur and a cybersecurity vendor based in Slovakia. We are doing mostly the authentication and also the privileged access management with next generation AI-driven solutions. And also we are part of the multiple EU bodies focused on the cybersecurity or defense to make sure that our product is relevant also on this field. From that, there's ECCC, the European Cybersecurity Competence Center, some part of the national grants also over here in Slovakia, and we've been labeled as a cybersecurity made in Europe by European Innovation and Technology Institute. So these are kind of the references that we would like to use. Also, we are fully ISO certified for the 27001, 17, and 18. So there are some basics which we need to talk about. Marek, if you switch the slides, let's discuss also the main difference between the standard privileged access management solution and SAM, so the stream access management solution. Standard PAM uses the term of privilege, which are the users, for example, administrators, that needs to be protected on some higher level than the standard users. Nowadays, we don't think this is how we need to approach this, because also the standard user might be the vector of the attack by stolen credentials or any other methods. So our protection is for the administrators in the same way as the standard users. And how we are doing it? We are doing it by isolation by streaming. That's done basically by creating an air gap between the target system and the user, so he can interact, but only in the ways that we will let them. These are the main basics, and it brings us to like four basic layers that we have. If you can switch the slide, Marek, please. Right. Yeah, four basic layers that are over here. So we are creating kind of a gateway to the infrastructure or the critical systems of your company. One thing is how the user will authenticate. How do we make sure that it's him? So that's for the multi-factor authentication, leveraging the GPS modules of the phones, and also biometry. And this biometry is also later used in the other layers to make sure that any action in the system is fully signed with this biometry of the user. Second is dashboard, SAM dashboard, meaning if you have this user authenticated, what parts of the system does he has the access to, right? You would like to have your accountants to have just the accounting part of the system to be available for them, so the granularity of the access is there, and also it's fully clientless and agentless solution. So anything that you need to is your browser or any laptop. This also brings us to the thing where we are creating with your laptop just kind of a gateway or a terminal, so anything is not directly routed to your laptop, just to the console in the browser. Which leads me to a third layer, which also offers the full auditability and visibility of the system. And as I mentioned, the biometry from the authentication is used in multiple ways, also in dashboard, and also in the end, it marks any action that is happening in the system with full auditability and visibility. So anything is logged or recorded in a way of the video. And the last thing, let's say you have a user that is authenticated, that has some possibility to get to some part of the system. He knows that there are some auditability possibilities, so everything is recorded, but still decides to do some damage to your system. That's why we have the AI oversight, to have kind of a contextual understanding of what the user is doing. So it's like a cybersecurity manager on the top of his shoulder, and if he's going to do some malicious action, it will first stop the user, and then it will reveal the intent. That's why we are called as an intent-aware access, but the damage is not done. So we want to catch anybody doing anything in your system with the intent, but prevent any damage. So this is the kind of the preemptive way how we do the things. So this is the main overview of who we are, but right now we will probably dive deeper into the topic, and we are going to do it in the second layers on the dashboard. So please, Marek, it's yours.
Yeah, thank you, Edo, for the introduction. I will correct you a little bit, because we will focus on the first two layers, not only the second one, but also we will talk a little bit about the first one as well. Because when user wants to authenticate to the Excalibur SAM dashboard, we need to have some kind of information about the identities. So we need to know what the user is, who it is, what are his privileges, permissions, and so on. Maybe also some information about the roles and about the possibilities, what the user can do within the Excalibur SAM dashboard. To be able to do so, I would like to first define, or to explain the definition, what the identity really is. So basically, in today's digital landscape, the identity is more than just the simple user account consisting of username and password. It is a little bit more. It is the complex information about not only the user, but also the information regarding some devices, some services, some applications, and so on and so forth. The user account, for example, is just only a subset of attributes of the identity as an object. So that's the reason why the identities are the foundation of secure access, um, to enable organizations to authenticate the users, authorize them, and also audit all the interactions and actions across uh, the customer's environment. So uh, we need to be sure that the right entities or identities have the right level of access and nothing more or nothing less as well. Okay, I already mentioned what is the identity used for. By the way, the identities serve three so-called critical functions in IT environments. First one is authentication. So that was the reason why I corrected Edo about the layers. And so when we are talking about authentication, we need to verify the identity, or we need to verify the user as the identity, or device, because that's the identity as well. Maybe some other service, application, platforms, and so on. And the authentication is the process of verifying those objects or entities using, for example, some passwords, some biometric possibilities or devices, maybe some tokens, or some kind of service accounts, and so on. The second critical function is to authorize the identity. So first, the identity needs to be authenticated. If the authentication was successful, then we need to determine what resources entity can access. So this is typically based on their role or permission definition. And the final function is to identify or to be able to audit the first and second functionalities, the authentication and authorization. And we need to have the complete image about the all activities of the identities or entities, such as audit information, and also some compliance details to be able to track all the actions, all the activities to meet regular or regulatory requirements such as GDPR and others. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the identity management. So first, we need to somehow manage the identities, and typically we can manage them in the dedicated systems, such as many available products in the market. One of the most used in the past was the on-premise Active Directory. Maybe nowadays it is being replaced by the Microsoft and Azure Enter ID. And also there are many other dedicated solutions to do such functionality. And let's talk about why it is important, because we need to ensure, for example, security. We need to protect our systems, our infrastructure against unauthorized access. And also we need to protect our data against unauthorized breaches, for example. Also, we need to be efficient in such activities to manage identities. So that's why we are using or utilizing dedicated systems to do such operations. From a compliance standpoint, it also or such systems or applications helps organizations to meet legal and regulatory obligations, for example. And the most importantly, such dedicated systems enhance the user experience while accessing defined applications or environments by the users. By the way, on the image below, I created a simple image which defines the life cycle of the identity in such identity management systems. So the first step is onboarding. So we need to somehow onboard, for example, a newcomer will join our team. So we need to onboard him. The second step is to provision him the accesses to be able to enter or to authenticate into the important applications, systems, environments, and so on. In the middle of the life cycle, there is the ongoing maintenance of such identity. So we periodically check if the information regarding the identity are correct, if we have all necessary details, if they are up to date, and also we periodically checks by the identity management systems if the user has all his required permissions, roles, and so on. Almost the last steps regarding the, for example, identity removal from our environment is the provisioning. So basically, we will define the provisioning step in the identity management system that this user or this entity identity or this object is leaving our infrastructure. So we need to deprovision all the accesses, all the roles, permissions, so on. And the last step is retirement. Basically, it is the complete removal of all configuration and also personal data regarding such objects. Okay, so we were talking about the identities and about the identity management systems. And how about the Excalibur SAM? Excalibur SAM also uses or utilizes identities. It's working with them actively. It identifies users and their roles and permissions. So it will be quite a big overhead when we will create our own identity management interface within the Excalibur SAM. So Excalibur SAM is able to integrate with the selected identity management systems, and we call those configuration integrations or configurations of integrations identity stores within the Excalibur SAM. As I already said, Excalibur typically is able to integrate with the Microsoft Active Directory. So when we will create such configuration, the Excalibur will connect to the Active Directory server and will try to fetch the user's information. So then when the user is registering into the Excalibur SAM, it is based on the invitation, but the most important detail or step regarding the user registration or domain user registration, which comes from the Active Directory, is to provide a domain password. So that's the reason why the Excalibur wants the user to enter the password, so we are able to verify the user's identity or the correctness of user account. A Microsoft Active Directory or this type of identity store also supports functionality in the Excalibur PAM section, which is called Excalibur credentials, or it is exactly called use Excalibur credentials within the PAM target definition. I will show that later in the demo. And why this is important? Because we can then configure Excalibur PAM target to utilize personal user account username and password to log the user seamlessly and automatically to the defined or selected PAM target. This login process is seamless, is passwordless as well, so the user is not needed to enter his domain password again and again and again. Also, this kind of identity store supports the change of expired domain passwords. And also, it is possible to use this kind of identity store to reset other domain passwords, for example, those which are used in the PAM target definition as static credentials. And this can be done by the password rotation policies as well. Okay, the next kind or type of identity store or identity management system which Excalibur SAM supports is the Microsoft Azure Entra ID. It stores the identities as an object, especially users, groups, for example, and computers. User then can register using the Azure Entra ID or Office 365 login interface. But in this case, Excalibur does not know the domain password of the user or the Azure Entra ID password of the user. So the functionality Excalibur credentials will not work in this case. And also, there is no possibility to change expired Entra ID password by the user within the Excalibur SAM or PAM engine. I already mentioned the possibility to create a local identity store for example, smaller customers and companies that do not have any of previous two. So companies that does not have any on-prem Active Directory or any kind of Azure Entra ID tenant. So Excalibur can deliver such basic functionality for those customers. So there is a catch regarding the Excalibur credentials functionality as well, because our local identity store is passwordless as well. Let me move this stupid small window. It's not possible. Okay. Okay. When users want to register using account provisioned by the local identity store, then user is entering just simple one-time secret, which was generated inside the Excalibur SAM dashboard and was provided to the user by the Excalibur administrator. And that's it. So there is no password, nothing, only the username, only the first name and last name and email address of the user. and that's all. No password, nothing.
Marek,
Yes.
we also have a question for you in our chat.
Okay, I will check that. Give me a second. Okay, question. Why use Excalibur credentials? PAM target functionality is not available for Azure Entra ID Identity Store or local identity store users. Yeah, as I said, the main reason why is that is during the registration, when there is the user from on-prem Active Directory, user will enter his domain password. Excalibur SAM takes it, encrypts it, and stores that in the application database. But regarding the Azure Entra ID user or local identity store-based user, during the registration, the user is not entering any password which Excalibur can remember and can encrypt and store within the application database. So that's the main reason why the Excalibur or use Excalibur credentials functionality is not working, because Excalibur PAM engine is not able to authenticate the logged in user on his behalf. Okay, hopefully the answer was clear enough. So I think we can continue with the presentation.
Yes, thank you, Marek.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Active Directory. Well, the Active Directory is quite old technology, and its origins are or began somewhere in the mid-90s when the Microsoft decided to take directory services functionality from Exchange 4.0 and create a standalone system to manage user accounts. So that is the origin, and it was officially released with Windows Server 2000. It is quite a lightweight identity management because it can store quite a lot of information about the user as an identity, but it is dedicated only to the world of Microsoft servers, Microsoft endpoints, Microsoft Windows endpoints, and maybe some other applications developed and delivered by Microsoft itself. However, it is based on the LDAP protocol. So technology of LDAP is with us since 1970s, 1971 or 2, I guess. And Microsoft inspired himself and took this technology and created Active Directory ecosystem based on the LDAP. So it can store identities as an objects. Active Directory knows lots of different types of objects, for example, users, groups, computers, service accounts, and many more. Um, Regarding the Active Directory, it's the I think it was, but still is a gold standard regarding the compliance, because it can enforce security policies across all the ecosystem, across all the customers' infrastructure, and also manage the access controls for the users, service accounts, and others. And also, nowadays, it is quite secure because it really heavily relies on the Kerberos authentication engine, and still Active Directory supports LDAP. But regarding the standard clear text LDAP protocol, It is only the basic functionality and most preferred way to integrate other applications is, by the way, using Kerberos or LDAP-S, which is the secured type of LDAP protocol. It is based on SSL TLS. It utilizes also certificates. So Active Directory server introduces himself with the certificate, and all the applications which are trying to connect to the LDAP interface of the Active Directory can verify the validity of Active Directory server. And how it is about the integration into the Excalibur SAM. Okay, some technical background. Excalibur SAM can utilize LDAP or LDAP-S protocol to connect to the Active Directory. Obviously, the preferred protocol is LDAP-S. That's because it is encrypted. That's because we can configure Excalibur service account to be able to change or to reset password, user passwords on behalf. And also the Excalibur SAM identity store engine is continuously synchronizing user objects and all those details from the Active Directory every 5 minutes. So that means if there is any change in the Active Directory, at least or at last within 5 minutes, the Excalibur SAM should have the updated information. Typically, Excalibur SAM synchronizes username in form of some account name or user principal name. It is configurable by the configuration variable on the when deploying Excalibur. Also, it is synchronizing the first name and surname or last name, the email address information as well, and the main unique value how to differentiate user accounts is by utilizing the universal unique identifier of the user account object. And what is being validated when the user wants to register or authenticate within the Excalibur SAM? Well, the Excalibur identity store engine verifies the password expiration. So it checks if the user does not have the password already expired. It is also checking the status of the account. So it is looking if the account is or account object is active. If it is not, locked and or disabled. And there is also some other parameter which is a little bit different or it differs from password expiration. There is a possibility to set account expiration within the Active Directory. So I still can have an account which has a valid password which is not expired, but the user account object can be already expired. So that's the reason why the Excalibur is checking those parameters. So if the user account is locked, disabled, the user is not able to authenticate into the Excalibur dashboard. The user is also unable to register. And if there is a password expired, Excalibur SAM allows user to log into the dashboard. But if user wants to open a PAM target which is configured to use Excalibur credentials, the Excalibur PAM engine will ask identity store engine, please check the account because I want to utilize these credentials. So the identity store engine will check for password expiration. If there is an answer, okay, password is already expired, the PAM engine will show the dialog box to the user and ask him, please reset your password. And then, if we have correctly configured service account within the identity store configuration, this account will be used to reset the password of the user on his behalf. In the demo, I will show you how to configure such permissions. It is called delegation within the Active Directory. So you will see how to prepare the service account to work properly in such conditions. Okay, I need to mention also that the Excalibur Identity Store engine is able to handle multiple configurations. Basically, you can configure as much configurations as you need. This is useful, for example, if you want to configure Excalibur to be able to see only to defined or selected organizational unit within your Active Directory infrastructure. So you can, for example, create a separate configuration for each organizational unit you want to, or you need to. It is also possible for each configuration item to configure multiple connections. It is useful when your organization have multiple domain controllers, so you can configure all of them within each configuration. For example, to be able to utilize Excalibur if there is some outage on a specified domain controller, or if you want to temporarily disable connectivity to the specified domain controller. All of such details I will show you in the demo. Okay, and regarding the multi-tenancy of Excalibur SAM, yeah, it is the same. You can configure in each tenant as much Active Directory configurations as you want. And also each configuration can have defined multiple connection to multiple connections to different domain controllers. And regarding the tunneling, Excalibur SAM also supports connectivity to the Active Directory domain controllers using Excalibur tunneling functionality. In previous workshop, I was demonstrating the tunneling technology, how it works, how we can utilize it, and this is one of the use cases to utilize the tunneling functionality. You can install tunnel client in your infrastructure, for example, in the dedicated VLAN or subnet, or you can install the tunnel client directly on your domain controllers. And then you can integrate Excalibur SAM running as software as a service directly to your on-prem infrastructure. On the picture, on the bottom of the slide, I have taken a screenshot of the definition of the database table about about the LDAP identity store. Basically, it is the same for the Active Directory based identity store. So basically, we can configure host name, port. We need to define base DN, where to look for the user objects. Then we can specify bind DN, which is, by the way, the distinguished name of the service account. Then bind password, it is a domain password of the bind account. Then we can configure or turn on the LWS protocol. And it is possible to define the CA certificate for the certification authority which issued LDAP-S certificates for each domain controller. It is also possible, in this case, to configure or to store the self-signed certificate. For example, I have only one domain controller without any certification authority deployed in my infrastructure. So in that case, I only need to generate a self-signed certificate with appropriate parameters. For example, the mandatory parameter is subject alternative name, which by the way can be the host name of the server or IP address of the server. So if the certificate is correct, it can be uploaded to the identity store configuration, and Excalibur SAM identity store engine will then check the certificate of the LDAP-S server when connecting to it. And basically, that's it. Okay, let's go through a short demo where I will demonstrate all of such explained functionality and details. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. Now I will hide this one because we do not need it. I will log in to the Excalibur dashboard. Okay, I should be in. Yeah, nice. I changed my decision. I will need this this window. Okay, so regarding the PAM targets, I already connected my Active Directory server or configured it as the PAM target, so I will be able to connect very simply using the Excalibur PAM engine. I will move that to the other window, and now I'm going to configure such identity store integration. Okay, so I'm going to create a new object, which will be Active Directory based one. I will insert some name. So for example, workshop identity store, base DN. That's the distinguished name of the Active Directory tree where I want to bind and look for user objects or user account objects. For example, I want to look only to this organizational unit, so I need to find out what is the distinguished name of it. It is this one. So I will copy and paste the information. By the way, within this organizational unit, I have configured 3 accounts. The first of them is the service account, which will be used to bind into this organizational unit. And the rest, the second one and the third one are regular user domain accounts. Okay. As I already mentioned, it is possible to have multiple connections within each identity store definition. So I'm going to create first connection. I want to utilize TLS, so my connectivity will be encrypted. In that case, I need to provide a certificate. As I mentioned, the certificate could be self-signed with proper parameters, such as subject alternative name and so on. Or it can be a certificate issued by some kind of certification authority. So in this case, I need to provide a root certificate of the certification authority. So I'm going to upload it. This is it. You can also check the content if everything's correct. Seems to be. I'm also tunneling or utilizing the tunneled connectivity to this Active Directory server. So I will select the tunnel, this one. Okay, now I need to configure the hostname or IP address of that Active Directory server. In this case, the LWS certificate is configured or has been issued for the host name, not for the IP address. So I'm entering the host name of the server. Port, since it is the LWS, I need to change the port to 636, which is the default port for the LWS protocol. By the way, that information is being mentioned down here. Okay, and now I need to enter the authentication details of that mentioned service account. Again, I need to somehow get the information about the distinguished name. So I will open appropriate parameter and copy that information like such. And now I need to provide the domain password of that service account. So hopefully there will be no typo. It may take a while because it is a tunneled connection. So we need to wait a little bit. Okay, seems to be okay. I will save that configuration right now. Again, it is being verified. It is tunneled connection, as also net encrypted connection, so it may take a while, but it is already done. So we can check, yeah, the Active Directory is connected. That's exactly what we wanted. Well, since the connectivity to the Active Directory server is being tunneled, I can try to configure the LDAP, the clear text connectivity as well. So let's check if it will work. So I will modify the configuration. I will add a new connection. Again, the tunnel. In this case, no TLS, default port. The distinguished name of the service account is this one, and hopefully the proper password. Okay, I forgot to enter the host name of the server. Saved. Let's check. Okay, it will take a while. Nicely. Let's check. Okay, so the same host twice. The first configuration is about the LWS protocol, and the second one is just a pure clear text. As you can see, both of those interfaces are successfully connected. So I can utilize both of them if I wish or if I would like to. But I will explain how to, for example, configure some other domain controller within your Active Directory infrastructure. So, as I said already, you can configure as much hosts as you want. For each host, you can, for example, utilize encrypted connection. And also, you can, for example, define different service account if you want to. So I will try to add a new configuration. And as you can see, I can do that. For example, if I will have some other server, for example, domain controller number 2, I would like to utilize TLS, then I need to provide a certificate of that or the certificate of this certification authority, also the tunnel, also the port for the encrypted connection, and also some kind of service account and its password. Since I do not have any other domain controller configured within my infrastructure, I'm not going to continue but you get the point. Okay, if there is a situation when you want to temporarily disable connectivity to a specified domain controller, for example, there is a maintenance window and you do not want Excalibur to connect to that server, you can do so because there is a possibility to check or uncheck if the connectivity configuration is active or not. So I will disable this second one, like such. In that case, the system understands that I only have the last one, so I do not want to lost the connectivity completely. I'm not able to deactivate the last standing active connection. Okay, so I will disable one of them and should be okay. Come on, baby. Yeah, nicely done. I will check the status and I can see that the connectivity to the second server is administratively disabled. It is down, so it is not used. And there is a nice check when the such Active Directory configuration was successfully connected. All right, we can check if the Active Directory configuration is working. So we can try to invite some user from that Active Directory server. So we will go to invitations. I will click to create a new invitation, and I need to select appropriate configuration of the identity store. So in my case, it is the last one. And as you can see, there are listed exactly 2 users from our organizational unit. It is the same list of users. Okay, by the way, for example, there is a change in the name of the user, or there is a change in the email of the user. I can do so within the Active Directory. For example, I want to rename this user to user, for example, 50. And I want to change the email address of the user as well, like such. I need to wait up to 5 minutes, and later we can check that the propagation of those changes was successful into the Excalibur SAM as well. Okay, by the way, in the meantime, I will try to configure a mentioned delegation, so the service account will be able to set new passwords of the domain users. So let me proceed. Okay, I want this service account to be able to reset user passwords only in this organizational unit. So I will create a delegation just on this OU. So I will click to delegate the control. I will click next. Now I need to select my service account. So it should be this one. Yep. I will click on next. And now I need to consult my documentation because it is quite rich on details. So I will consult my documentation. By the way, this is it. It is listed in the it has been scrolled a little bit. Okay, I have lost it. So I will try to search for that application. Yeah, this is it. Nice. Okay, so the steps are absolutely in details described what the administrator needs to configure. So required permissions of that service accounts are listed in here. So the service account needs to be able to change the password, to reset the password, to read and to write account lockout time. Also, it needs to be able to read and write password latset attribute. And then it should be able also to read and write user account control parameters or values of those parameters. Okay, so first step is successfully done. I need to go next, so I will continue. So I need to create a custom task or custom delegation task. So let's proceed. Now this window, but this one. Yep. Create custom. Okay, click next. Now I need to click only the following objects in the folder. And I want to select only the type of object, which is, by the way, the user object. Now I can click next. And I want to search for possibilities to change and reset passwords. So where should it be? Somewhere in here. Change and reset the password. Okay. It's it. But I need to go a little bit back and I want to deselect general and I want to select property specific checkbox. Okay. And now I need to find and check out the rest of the permissions. Okay, so read lockout time. Read. Lockout time. Write lockout time as well. Now I need to select read password last set. Come on. Password should be somewhere in here. Password. Where's the password? It's not alphabetically ordered, by the way. Read over the last set. Come on. Okay, read password last set, write password last set. And the last two, so read user account control, it should be somewhere in the end. Yeah, read user account control and write user account control. I will click next. That's it. We are done. So currently our service account, which is used to integrate Excalibur SIME into the Active Directory domain, is able to reset the user account when their password will be expired. All right. That's it. Simple as that. I'm not going to show you the registration process because I think it is already well known how it works, how it looks like, and what are the necessary steps to register the user using the Active Directory account. As I already mentioned, it is based on to provide the domain password by the user, and basically that's it. Okay. I will check the list of the users in the invitations. It should be synchronized now. Yeah, as you can see, the user account WS user number 1 has been renamed, and his email was changed as well, and Excalibur properly synchronized those changes into the local database. By the way, all these changes will be done automatically when user is already registered, and will be propagated into the mobile application as well. So the user does not need to register or re-register again using the new details. Those will be propagated automatically to the smartphone as well. Okay. I think that's it all regarding the Active Directory integration, so we can continue again further with the Microsoft Azure Entra ID. Okay, I almost forgot. Are there any questions regarding this? Okay, nobody. So we can continue. All right. So the Microsoft Entra ID is the second most used identity management system in or at our customers. So it was originally launched as the Azure Active Directory service in 2008, and later on it was rebranded or renamed to the Microsoft Azure Entra ID in 2013. It is completely cloud native system or application. It is not such the implementation that the Microsoft took the core of the Active Directory services and adapted them to Azure Cloud. No, this is completely new implementation, but still lots of attributes, lots of types of objects, and also protocols have been kept from Active Directory services as well. So Microsoft and other providers or vendors are still able to integrate their systems into the Microsoft Entra ID. I need to mention that the Microsoft Entra ID is a multi-tenant architecture as well. By the way, there is a strict isolation between particular tenants, so it can maintain the proper security, and it creates a robust platform that can easily be adapted to almost all business needs, almost all customers. Yeah, the Microsoft Azure Entra ID supports quite a lot of modern authentication protocols, such as, for example, OAuth 2, OpenID Connect, SAML, and also, as I mentioned, the Kerberos functionality, so cloud-based key distribution center, which is, by the way, used for the Kerberos protocol authentication, has been implemented in the Entra ID. And also there is a possibility to utilize LDAP-S protocol as well. But for example, Excalibur is not utilizing the LDAP-S protocol because when some customer wants to turn on the LDAP-S functionality, it is being licensed separately, and so we decided to do not utilize it, and we decided to create integration using the Microsoft Graph API interface to do so. Okay, as I mentioned, Microsoft Graph API interface. The Excalibur SAM is synchronizing the user objects and all these attributes regularly each 5 minutes as well. This kind of integration is completely passwordless, so Excalibur SAM does not store user password in the application database. So specifically, Excalibur SAM even do not or does not know the password of the user. It is synchronizing the user principal name as the main attribute, also the first name and last name, or first name and surname, the email address information, and also the object ID, which is the main identifier of the user object. Again, the Excalibur SAM or identity store engine within it is checking for the account status, if the account is active or is being locked for a while or is being disabled, and even if the the Azure Entra ID account is expired or not. So when the account is active, the Excalibur SAM continues with the registration process and also with the authentication as well. If the account is expired or is disabled or locked, the Excalibur SAM will not allow user to authenticate into the dashboard. Again, there is the multiple entry possibility to be configured within the Excalibur SAM dashboard, and also the possibility regarding the multi-tenancy as well. So for each tenant within the Excalibur SAM, you can configure as much Entra ID entries as you need to. Yeah, again, in the bottom of the slide, there is the snapshot of the database table scheme. So what we can configure regarding the Azure Entra ID configuration. So typically, only 3 configuration details are needed to successfully configure Excalibur SAM. So client ID, client secret, basically it's the token, and also the Entra tenant ID, which is the mandatory information to identify a proper instance of customers Entra ID within the Azure cloud. Okay.
Marek, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I see that we have a question for you in our chat.
Yeah. The question is, I see that there are synchronized attributes, except that are changes made in Entra ID and Active Directory identity store synchronize automatically into Excalibur SAM. Yeah, I mentioned they are automatically synchronized, and this synchronization is being performed every 5 minutes. Hopefully, it's enough regarding the answer. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, so let's continue with the demo. Sorry. Again, I will open these 2 windows, and I will close this spam target because I do not need that anymore. I'm going to also open the I will show you that the documentation regarding the Entra ID configuration. Okay, so identity stores, Microsoft Entra ID. Come on, Microsoft Entra ID configuration. Okay, so this is it. Absolutely, again, describing details, what needs to be done, what needs to be configured on the Azure Entra ID side. So we will go through in details to show you how to properly configure the integration. Okay, I will move the window on the other screen, and we can continue. Okay, so first step is to log in into the Azure Management Portal. I'm already in there, so we can continue further. I will select the Microsoft Entra ID, And now I need to add a new application registration. So application registrations, and I will create a new one. Workshop, Entra ID, integration, the store. Okay, supported account types. I need to select single tenant only, like such, and I simply click on register. Okay, now configuration object has been created, but still it's not all. First, I need to configure API permissions to be able to log in and check and read all the necessary details from the Entra ID cloud services. So I click on Manage and select the API permissions. All right, I will click on Add a new permission. I will select Microsoft Graph API. And now I need to select application permissions. And I need to find out the item which is called user dot read the DAO. So it should be under the user section. Yeah, here it is. I will select that and click add permission. Okay. I need to go further to add some more permissions. So I will do so. Add permission. Again, Microsoft Graph API. And now I will select the delegated permissions. There are already two of them. So offline access and OpenID. That's correct. And I need to add two more. So I need to add email, like such. I need to also add the profile. And I also need to add user.read permissions. So under the user should be listed in here, user read. Okay, add permissions, and there they are. Okay, permissions are configured, but they are not still granted. So I need to grant them. So I will click on grant admin consent. Yeah. Okay, all those permissions are now granted. Nice. So my configuration item is created. I already assigned proper permissions, which are needed to be able to read the user information from the Entra ID to the Excalibur, but I need to configure the authentication. So I will go to certificates and secrets. Sorry, I need to go to authentication. Yeah, and I need to add two configuration items. So I will add redirect URL or URI. Excalibur requires the type of web, and I need to insert or enter two of them. So first is in this format. I will copy that directly from the documentation, but here I need to replace the host name of the Excalibur instance. It's simply this one. FQDN or host name, it's the same. Like such, and should be it. So I will click on configure. Okay, I need to add one more. and I will explain later why. Okay, so redirect URL. Again, I will copy the URL from the documentation, like such, and I will replace the host name with the proper one. Like such. Configure. Okay, should be it. And now I'm going to explain why too. The first one, this one, and I will zoom a little bit to better see what's going on. If you will check or try to compare those two, you will see that there is the difference in this part of the path. Why is that? Because this first redirect URL is used when you are configuring the Excalibur deployment for the first time. So there is the configuration wizard, and the part of the configuration wizard is possibility to integrate Azure Entra ID. If you need or if you want to register the first administrator of the Excalibur as the user object or identity from the Azure ID, you need to have this redirect URL configured. The second one then works or is used during the regular user registration. So again, first one is used during the Excalibur deployment setup, and the second one is used on regular basis when, for example, new user wants to register. Okay, so redirect URLs are configured. That's nice. So we can configure the rest. So certificates and secrets. So Excalibur needs to somehow authenticate to the Microsoft Graph API, and we will configure that using the client secrets. So we will create a new secret here. I will enter some description. So workshop identity store secret. You can choose expiration, whatever you want. So if I want to, for example, 24 months, I can do so. If I want longer, I will define a custom one. For me, 3 months are absolutely enough. Okay, so I will click add. And that's it. Now I will try to log in again into the Excalibur dashboard, because I was automatically logged off because of any activity from my side. Okay. And I'm trying, oh boy. Okay, so I'm going to try to configure a new identity store. So identity stores, a new one, and I want to configure Entra ID. So workshop Entra ID identity store. Okay, now I need those three configuration details: client ID, client secret, and tenant ID. Okay, so client secret, it is directly visible in this section of the Azure Management Portal. So I will copy that and insert that as the client secret. Client ID, I can see when I click to overview, it should be the application or the client ID, the second item. So client ID. And now I need to also copy and paste the tenant ID information. And it should be it should be listed here as well. So directory tenant ID, like such, copy and paste, and that's it. Okay. The configuration was accepted and successfully created. Okay, so let's go and check in the invitation if I can see the users from Entra ID configuration. So I need to select proper identity store configuration. In this case, it's again the last one. So I will select that. And as you can see, there is a list of users already visible or available for invitation creation. By the way, we can check if the information is correct. I will go to Home, Entra ID, Users, so we can check list of the users. Okay, it is. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything is the same as in the Entra ID. Okay. I will try to open, no, I will try to create a new registration for me or invitation for me. Okay. Where's the, yeah, here it is. Invite user. Invite user. I want to be a simple user only. So I will invite myself like such. Okay, let's go back to the invitations. Here it is. So first I need to copy the invitation link. And I will try to open incognito window and try to register myself. Okay. User registration. Hello me. Sign in with Microsoft. Okay, I will try. Yeah. Here you can see that the Excalibur SAM now utilizes the Microsoft login engine or Microsoft login view or technology. And that's the reason why the Excalibur does not know password of Entra ID users. Okay, I will try to provide a password, hopefully the correct one. Yeah, it was fine. Now my smartphone is asking me to confirm the authentication, so I will do so. Like such. Yeah, it was correct. Okay. And I want to accept. Yeah, and the registration process continues as usual. So user will open, I will do so. The user will open on the mobile application, scan the QR code, yeah, confirm the registration, provide all the necessary login details such as fingerprint, PIN code, and so on. And after the successful registration, the user is automatically logged into the dashboard. So, as you can see, my registration was successful. This is the Entra ID user account, and that's it. Okay, any questions regarding this?
It seems that no questions.
Okay, no questions. I will close this incognito window and we can continue with the presentation further. All right. So, local identity store. Yeah, basically, this is the most simple way how to manage application users within the Excalibur SAM if the customer does not have any of those, so any of Microsoft Active Directory or Microsoft Azure Entra ID. So those customers, users, or organizations can utilize a local identity store. It is based on a locally hosted interface, which stores all the user data within the application database. It is completely passwordless, so we do not define any password for any user. And the user management in this case is completely manual or based on manual process. And so we need to create the user or those users manually. Also, we need to keep the user details updated manually as well. And if we want to decommission the user, we need to do so manually, typically as well. Yeah, regarding the user creation, it is possibility to create users in bulk. So you will upload the file with a list of users, and Excalibur will create those users automatically within the local identity store. Yeah, as usual, I have taken the screenshot of the table in the application database, which describes the scheme of user table. Yeah, as you can see, we keep all these information in the application database, but it is a very simple list of attributes. So typically ID for internal use, UID, which is typically taken from Active Directory or Entra ID, first name, last name, email address, and also the status of the account if it is enabled, disabled, and so on. So very simple way how to manage users, and I can show you that right now in the demo. Okay, so I will go again into the identity stores, and I will create a local identity store in this case. So local one, I will enter some kind of name or information about it, local identity store. So workshop identity store, local one, like such. And if I click on the modify icon of that local identity store, I can then create users within this identity store. If I want to create a single user, I can do that. So like such. If I want to, I can create more users as well, but there is a possibility to also bulk import those users from file. Basically, it is the CSV, comma separated value text file. And also there is a help which is telling you what data format is expected by the Excalibur SAM to import the list of users. You can click on that, and here you have all necessary information. What is the data format? So only three columns are required. Typical the first name, last name, and the email address. If you don't want to create such file manually, you can download empty template like such. You will then fulfill all the necessary information regarding all the users. And basically that's it. Then you can import the file and your users will be created automatically. Then again, you can invite those users as usual. So I will create a new invitation. I will select the workshop local identity store. Yeah, there is only one user, and I will send an invitation for the user, like such. Okay, I will go back, and here, as you can see, the invitation URL has been sent to me, and except that invitation link, I also need this kind of verification code, which I will use instead of any password or instead of any OTP or such. Okay, so I will copy the invitation link. I will open a new incognito window, provide the invitation link, and now it is asking me to provide the verification code. So verification code can be delivered to the user using, for example, message, short message to the phone number. It can be also sent using some instant messaging systems and so on. So I will copy that verification code, paste that in the registration window, click on verify, and yeah, I can register. Yeah, that's it. I was successfully registered. So system automatically logs me in, and that's it. Any questions? Okay, nothing so far. So from my standpoint of view, it was all. So let's move a little bit further. So I think, Edo, the stage is yours again.
All right, thank you, Marek. If we can switch to the next slide, perfect. Thank you very much. As I see the participants, most of you know this possibility that we have over here right now. In the beginning, I was talking the connection to the European bodies, which are focused on the cybersecurity. Within these bodies, we are able to have a funding for our solutions and to spread the solution around the European Union mostly. With this, we are able to get 12 months deployment with no costs, and then 12 months with a 75% discount to any company from smaller to medium, also to the big corporates. So this is also what we are doing besides the workshops, and there is the 30th April deadline for the application. No worries if you apply and then will just go away, and so you will find out it's not for you. So I'll just encourage anybody who has the opportunity to test it to do so. As part of these projects is also the awareness that everybody or all the companies, not only just in the EU but within the world, needs to have some kind of protection against what we are talking all around. So that's how we have this covered. And yes, basically, if there are no further questions, I guess, Natalia, we can probably wrap this up as the time is also right for doing so, right?
Yes, it looks like we covered all the questions for today. If anything comes to your mind later, don't hesitate to reach out. We will be happy to help. And also, right after the workshop, we will send you a short feedback form where all you need to do is click your response. It's just three short questions, and we would really greatly appreciate it if you could complete it, as your input is important for our future workshops, and we would be happy to see you again at our next workshop next week. So registration details are on the slide, and feel free to share it with your colleagues as well, and please join us. And thank you so much for your time, and see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy your day.
Yep. Thank you again, and have a nice rest of the day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.